Maybe now's the time. I mean, if, you know, the 20-mile-an-hour zones in Wales have been in for a little while now, and if we're getting to a stage where people are turning around and saying, do you know what, these 20-mile-an-hour zones are all right, then they need to understand what's coming next. Because the minute you start saying, do you know what, these 20-mile-an-hour zones, they're all right, the authorities will go, you didn't mind 20-mile-an-hour zones, now how about pay per mile? You know, all those cameras that we've been putting up everywhere, the cameras that you can see everywhere you go, well, actually, they were for pay per mile. And then you'll have small classic car channels saying things like, well, I don't drive my cars very much, so I think pay per mile is perfect for me. And then the authorities will go, oh, okay, great, you didn't mind pay per mile. How about a digital ID card that you keep in your car, and it's got like an RFID chip with like wide beam, so when you drive past one of the sensors, your ID card triggers the thing, and then you can just pay automatically off your bank account. And people will go, you know, 4 months will go by and small classic car channels will be like, oh yeah, this is great, because whenever I drive my classic car, I don't need to worry about taking anything that needs a charger. I just take my card with me, and then I just get charged £3.20 for the drive that I went on. It's brilliant. And then the powers that be will be like, oh, well, the next stage of that is, if you've got 4 people in a car and they've each got their card on them, then we can invoice each and every one of them to their house, and then you can charge people for the journey accordingly. And 4 months will go by and small car channels will be like, actually, this is okay, because I find that when people come in the car with me, I know that if they're safe or not, because if they're not safe, then it flags up on the car that I've got someone in the car who's a political dissident, and maybe I should consider not taking them on the journey. And then the next stage, after 4 months, is the authorities and the powers that be will be like, oh, well, you didn't mind the fact that we introduced digital ID and tracking chips in cars that people carry around with them that allow them to be mobile. The next stage is, we're now going to have a red flag system, whereby if someone has said something that we don't like and they get in your car won't start. And suddenly people are going to be like, oh, hang on a minute, I didn't realise when we said that 20 mile an hour everywhere was okay, that we were going to end up here. I didn't realise that. And then those of us that run YouTube channels that try to explain this stuff will be like, we tried to tell you, but you thought it was fine because it didn't really affect you all that much, and you thought that the people who were saying it's not fine are crazy conspiracy theorists.